Hello, welcome to the Coral Safety Processes Training. I am Dr. Barbara Warnes, a trial manager at the Bristol Trial Centre at the University of Bristol. In this presentation, I'm going to give you a brief reminder about the Coral Study recruitment pathway and an overview of the safety processes embedded within the trial. I'm now going to give you a quick reminder about the recruitment pathway for the Coral Study. Firstly, database searches will be conducted to identify patients with heart failure, and anonymous demographic data is reported to us. Next, the list is checked and LVSD codes are added where required. You will then complete a new search, which includes the patients with newly coded LVSD added, and send another report of anonymous demographic data to us. This list is then used to conduct your eligibility checks based on our exclusion criteria. The list of potentially eligible patients is then uploaded to DocMail by the practice, and invitation packs are sent out. 2 weeks after this, text messages are sent out to all those who haven't responded to the invitation, but have opted in to receive text messages. A further 2 weeks after this, a phone call is made to the invited participants who haven't responded to the invitation. Interested participants can complete an expression of interest form online or by post, which are received at the Bristol Trial Centre. Once we've received a completed expression of interest form, a member of the Bristol Trial Centre team will call the participant to complete a screening and eligibility check. If the person is eligible and wishes to, they will proceed to give their consent to take part in the study. Consent can be received online, on paper or face-to-face if the GP or RDN staff have capacity. The participant will then go on to complete the baseline questionnaire. Following this, an email will be sent to the GP team to confirm that the person is still eligible to take part in the study. The prescription is then approved by a clinical member of the Coral Bristol Trial Centre team before randomisation takes place. The participant is then sent their first batch of Coral study capsules through the post. Here is a reminder about some important things to note for the Coral study. If a participant is prescribed warfarin during the study, please inform them to stop taking the Coral study medication and to contact the Coral study team. If a participant is on hypertensive, please ensure that the standard monitoring of blood pressure takes place and report any changes of concern to the Coral study team. Finally, participants who become pregnant will be asked to stop taking the study medication immediately. They will continue to be followed up until the end of the study. I am now going to go through some safety reporting requirements that have come out of a recent MHRA inspection at the University of Bristol. As a reminder, good clinical practice states that the rights, safety and well-being of the trial subjects are the most important considerations and should prevail over the interests of science and society. There are two reasons to report safety events in trials. The first one is to collect data to report on outcomes, and the second is for the MHRA reporting requirements. Safety events are defined as any untoward medical occurrences that represent a change in a clinical condition. And as a principal investigator on the Coral study, you must have full oversight of the safety of the patients who are taking part in the study. The Coral study team hear about safety events in a number of ways. First are our follow-up questionnaires at 3, 6, 9 and 12 months post-randomisation. These questionnaires ask the participant if they've had any time in hospital since the last follow-up and about any study medication side effects. Second are any emergency unblinding requests we hear about. We may also hear about safety events from study participants or family members to the Coral study team. The trial participant card, which is sent with every delivery of IMP, contains contact details and instructions for reporting safety event. For example, if our participant is hospitalised or dies. Finally, we may hear from you, the GP team, if the participant presents at your surgery. To keep you informed, we will send you a letter when one of your patients consents to take part in the study. This is a letter that was previously approved as part of our initial ethics application. This letter has some actions for you to do, including filing the letter in your patient's medical record, adding alerts to notify GPs that they are potentially taking coenzyme Q10, and adding coenzyme Q10 as an externally issued medication. To keep you informed about your patients, we will also send you a number of email alerts at different points during the study. These will include whenever a prescription has been authorised or dispatched, if there is a change in participation status, for example, if the patient decides to stop taking the medication or withdraws their consent, and if we find out about a safety event. For each of these emails, you must save a copy in the relevant person's medical record. We may need more information from you about a safety event, but we will let you know if this is the case. You will obviously become aware of safety events when your patient presents at the surgery. However, we are also asking PIs to complete regular reviews of the patients who are taking part in Coral to check for any unreported safety events. We have suggested a monthly review. We expect each surgery to recruit around 15 participants and follow-up is for 12 months. These reviews may be supported by an administrator at your practice, as long as the PI is the one to assess the events. In the instance that you become aware of any untoward medical occurrence that represents a change in a clinical condition, the PI must first record the assessment of the event in the medical notes. The PI should determine whether it is serious and related to the Coral IMP. Second, they must decide how to report the event using the GP safety reporting requirements flowchart, which I will go through now. This is a copy of the GP safety reporting flowchart, which is also available in the study handbook. The flowchart and countdown start when the PI is made aware of an adverse event. The first step is for the PI to decide whether the event is serious, i.e. it meets any of the criteria here on the right. Serious events result in death, are life-threatening, require hospitalization or prolong an existing hospitalization, result in disability or incapacity, or consist of a congenital anomaly or birth defect. The next decision is whether the event is causally linked, in other words, related to the IMP. There are 5 categories for relatedness. If the PI or delegated clinician deems the event to be possibly, probably, or definitely related to IMP, this means that the event is an adverse reaction. Reporting requirements depend on the category of the event. If the event is both serious and possibly, probably, or definitely related to the IMP, this is a serious adverse reaction. These events must be reported to UHBW via email and the Coral study team using the UHBW Safety Initial Report form within 24 hours of the PI becoming aware of the event. Serious adverse events or adverse reactions should be reported to the Coral study team via email using the GP safety reporting form as soon as possible after you become aware of the event. Adverse events do not need reporting to us. Importantly, for all events, you should document in the medical record your record of assessment and the action that was undertaken. Forms can be found on the Coral website, and the link and the password are shown on screen. To summarise the safety reporting requirements, we ask you to complete the actions in the letters and emails that are sent to you. If we hear about a safety event and we need more information from you, we will let you know. We're asking you to complete regular checks of medical records of your randomised patients. For example, once a month to look for unreported safety events. We're also asking you to record your assessment of any safety events in the medical records and to follow safety reporting procedures in the study handbook to determine how to report any safety events. Thank you for listening to this training. If you've already completed some training for the Coral study, please complete the Microsoft form that was emailed to you. If this is the first training you've completed for the Coral study, please complete the training and delegation log that can be found on our website. The website address is here, and the password for the 4GP site section is coenzyme. The code word for this training is ecosystem. If you have any questions, please contact us on our Coral study email or by calling us on 0117 455 6725. Thank you.